Hello. So in this video, I'm going to give you not so much a specific writing prompt, but an approach to a particular writing prompt. And what I mean by that is this is a writing prompt where you can choose what content you want to fill in. The broad structure, the framework, will work for a wide range of topics depending on what you need it to do. So basically, that writing prompt is to have students remember something that they've learned or part of something that they've learned earlier in the semester. So, for instance, on the day that I'm filming this, one of the things that we covered in class is the claim evidence interpretation paragraph structure. And so to get them to get the students thinking about claims and how to make effective claims, I wanted us to go back to the 6 characteristics of a strong thesis statement, which we had learned earlier in the semester. And so for the writing prompt, I had students answer this question. What's one characteristic of a good thesis statement? And why is that characteristic important? And I reminded them that earlier in the semester, we had talked through 6 characteristics of strong thesis statements. So I wanted them to bring to mind specifically one of those criteria, one of those characteristics, so that they could remember what it is that makes a good thesis. Now, you could do this with anything that you covered earlier in the semester and you want your students to recall for one reason or another. What's one of the rhetorical appeals? Describe the characteristics of it. If you, say, learned rhetorical appeals in, late August, early September, and it's now early November or something like that, and you want to make sure that your students still remember this thing, this is a useful writing prompt for that. The other reason that this is useful is that there's a ton of data out there from cognitive psychologists, memory specialists, from education theorists and things like this, establishing that if you have students recall things, if you give them small activities or small workshops, whatever it is, if you make them remember things that they had learned earlier in the semester, even if you haven't talked about it or covered it for a while, that helps build long-term neural pathways. And so that makes it easier for them to retain that information as their brain gets used to recalling it. So there's a cognitive basis for the benefits of this particular activity. And again, it's a good way, if you are asking them to remember something relevant to the activity that you're doing on that particular class day, it's a good way of getting them into the headspace of whatever it is that they need to remember. The way you make claims, the rhetorical appeals, whatever it happens to be, whatever piece of information you've taught them that you now want them to draw upon again.